And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for y'all today, because y'all know what today is. But we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Folks, we're here. We've made it. There is football on today. Not preseason games, not the Hall of Fame game, not some training camp going on, not a Hard Knocks episode. We've got actual keeping track, keeping record, keeping the stats, win, loss. It all matters tonight, folks. Cowboys, Bucks, gonna be absolutely fantastic because both of these teams are actually really gosh dang good. Cowboys got a great offense. Bucks, obviously, Tom Brady, great offense, great defense, great everything. They'll probably win and go undefeated and win the Super Bowl, and then next season we're doing the same thing over again. But hopefully it's not that predictable, but we'll see. So, we're going to, today on the show, we are going to make our official prediction for tonight's game, talk through it a little bit, see the ins and outs, and just get ready to enjoy a football game that we've been missing for, the last 7-8 months? I mean, geez, man, oh man. It's always crazy that we go this long without football and we're able to make it. We made it those months. So I have to applaud y'all. We made it. We got football tonight. So let's enjoy it and we'll talk it through and hopefully we can make a little bit of money on tonight's game. And then also today on the show, we are going to get our final predictions and expectations for our main narratives that we've been talking about all offseason, all preseason, all training camp, what we need to see from most coaches, what their win totals are going to be for a successful year, and just our overall final predictions on what we think is going to happen this year, who's going to be good, who's not going to be good, all that stuff. So we're going to get our final thoughts down on paper because the season starts today, folks, tonight. No more time to waste, no more time to wait. So we got to get them all out there so they are officially on the written record. All right, so since we have so much to do today, let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day. And the first one up, sheesh. If I wasn't taking the Bucks today, I'm definitely taking the Bucks today, folks, because the Buccaneers released a freaking hype video at midnight last night, exactly, the first second of September 9th when they play their first game. And they post this hype video of Tom Brady, and I mean, I'll let Tom Brady narrate anything he wants, folks. He's got a great voice. I can't deny it. The man's a great thrower of the football. The man's got a great voice. He can narrate the hell out of a hype video, documentary, whatever it is. Jeez Louise. Man, if you weren't buying the Bucks, folks, if you watch this hype video, you will believe in the Bucks. You will sell your house and bet the Bucks. You will say they will win the Super Bowl this season because what Tom Brady says in this hype video, man. Basically, like, if you thought we were good last season, well, you ain't even seen nothing yet. Tom Brady just narrating the video, fantastic. Saying, what makes us good this season is because we were all together last season and we all fought last season. And, we know this season is a different season. We are champions going into this season, but we put that all behind us because every great story deserves a sequel and our begins right now. Ooh, I got goosebumps when he said that at the end of the video. Every great story deserves a sequel and ours begins right now. Sheesh, folks. I mean, I kind of want to see the Bucks go back-to-back now. How crazy. I mean, we never hate Tom Brady because he's so great, but man, oh man, I mean, how great would that be? Tom Brady wins back-to-back Super Bowls with the Bucks, and now, I mean, what can Bill Belichick even do? Can he even do anything to get his legacy kind of cleaned up to say that he deserved more credit than Tom Brady does? I don't think so. So, man, oh man, watch out. I mean, they have all the tools, they have all the pieces to make the Super Bowl run. They're definitely Super Bowl contenders, bringing everybody back, and man, oh man, they are ready to get after it. They ran the gauntlet last season in the playoffs, beating Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes, it's like, well, who else is left? I mean, this season, they could probably do it all again because they're going to be even better than they were last season. So this Bucs team, man, watch out for them. They should be so fun to watch just because of how great they should be. I mean, there is high expectations on this Bucs team. Seems like everybody in that organization is handling it very well. We've been keeping track of what they've all been saying in the offseason. You know, they've all kind of collectively said, hey, we're putting last season behind us. Yes, we've celebrated. We're champions. We love it. But, you know, we want to win again. We love that feeling. That boat parade, they loved it. Tom Brady especially loved it, getting absolutely smashed drunk on that boat cruise. And so they all want to do that again. Tom Brady's got more to prove. I mean, Tom Brady's getting, kind of shit on in the media, in social media every year. Oh, he can't, do the same thing again. He's too old now. Father Time's finally catching up with him. It's the team around him. He had Bill Belichick in New England, and now he's got a huge cast of offense and defensive weapons around him for this Bucs team. So Tom Brady still has more to prove. He's the outlier in age. Nobody really ever is this successful at his age, but he's still doing it, so he hears it all. Obviously, 95% of what Tom Brady says to the media is not what he's thinking, obviously, and they are ready to run it back tonight. So it's just unfortunate that the Cowboys have to face them opening night on the road. It's just truly unfortunate, but we'll see what they can do this year. And man, oh man, Tom Brady, he's ready, folks. And when you have a healthy, ready Tom Brady, sheesh, folks, he's going to set the league on fire like he does every single season. So the Bucs, folks, they're going to be great. They're going to be great. Just accept it. They will be great this season. They could potentially go undefeated. They could potentially win the Super Bowl again this season. So gear up for it. Embrace it. Watch Tom Brady. Love Tom Brady. Watch and just embrace the greatest of all time. You are watching the greatest of all time, folks. Take it in. Relish in it. Love it. Because you may not get this opportunity again. We'll definitely take this opportunity to watch the greatest of all time. Try to go back to back before he exits the arena forever. We'll see what happens. All right, next story up. Now let's hear from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers says uncertain future doesn't add pressure, but provides focus, saying, quote, we're going to enjoy this year for all that it has to offer. So, Aaron Rodgers not getting ahead of himself. We know that, we know this. He doesn't really kind of, talk, 5 moves ahead, 2 steps ahead, anything like that. So let's just quickly see what he says, what he has to say right before the season starts. And, if we can kind of find maybe a nugget of information that kind of reconfirms what we think, that he is definitely out this season. So let's see what we get here. I'm not going to read all this lead up because we already know what's going on. So here we go. Let's just start here. Those unknowns about the future could add pressure to the 2021 campaign, making those within the building feel like this team must finish the job if it's genuinely Green Bay's last dance with this core. However, Aaron Rodgers doesn't see it as pressure at all. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers has no pressure. There is no pressure on him. He can do no wrong. He will always be great in the eyes of his fans, in the eyes of the media. If he doesn't win this season, the blame will be put on everybody else besides him. We've seen this time and time again. But let's see what it says here. Quote, I'm speaking personally, and I can't speak for everybody, but the feeling that I get with the energy in the locker room is not pressure. It's focus. I think it's the right perspective and the right type of focus. We know we have a talented team. We know what the expectations are. And I love how Aaron Rodgers starts this quote. I'm speaking personally, and I can't speak for everybody. Well, yes, because you're putting all the pressure on everybody else and not yourself. You kind of hanging, your exit, your departure over the head of the entire team, because we all know if the Packers flounder big time here and barely make the playoffs, let's just say they are like the last wild card team, and they kind of get bounced in the first round of the playoffs, or they don't even make the playoffs. If it's a true big flounder for this Packers team, everybody knows Aaron Rodgers is moving on 100%. That would be definite. But if they can win the Super Bowl, then they would have some solid cachet in keeping Aaron Rodgers here for next season and beyond. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, this entire offseason and training camp period has been about Aaron Rodgers not taking any blame, shifting the blame to everybody else, putting the pressure on everybody else, and holding this team hostage. So, of course, he's speaking personally and can't speak for the entire team because the entire team is afraid of messing up or saying something out of line that is going to hinder Aaron Rodgers being a Packer next season. They all know that. Who wouldn't want Aaron Rodgers on your team? Of course they all want him to be the quarterback. So, yes, Aaron Rodgers has no pressure on himself. It's everybody else, the coach, the players, that will get the brunt of Aaron Rodgers' displeasement when something doesn't go right. We've seen this time and time again, folks. So Aaron Rodgers, no pressure on him. He's playing loosey-goosey out here, which could be dangerous as well. I mean, loosey-goosey Aaron Rodgers, I mean, we've only seen uptight Aaron Rodgers, not wanting to, throw interceptions and throwing the ball away if something isn't 100% wide open. But this season, he can do no wrong, fits it into tighter windows, forces those balls down the field that we know Aaron Rodgers can make. He just doesn't take them all the time. So this could be dangerous as well, folks. A loosey-goosey Aaron Rodgers could be very, very dangerous to the league and could be the kryptonite to Tom Brady. We'll see. The lingering questions about whether a breakup of the current core could be in the future have provided the impetus for the 2021 Packers to get back to the Super Bowl finally, saying, quote here by Davante Adams, this is probably the hungriest team that I've ever been around, honestly, just because we have been so close a number of times now, and that is truly it. Back-to-back NFC Championship games, losing them both, unfortunate, and then just missing the Super Bowl. So they've been knocking at the door. We'll see if they can finally take that next step, whatever it was that was holding them back from finally winning that NFC Championship game, losing against the 49ers 2 years ago, losing against the Bucks last season. What was the reason for them not getting it done? Potentially they weren't hungry enough. We'll see. We'll see if that's it. All right, one more quote here by Aaron Rodgers. So let's read the lead up. After back-to-back losses in the NFC Championship, the sense of urgency is for the Packers not just to win the division or a couple of playoff games, but lift the Lombardi Trophy for the second time in Rodgers' career. Yes, it is Super Bowl or bust for this Packers team, folks. We don't care if they get back to the NFC Championship game. We do not care about that. The only thing that matters for Aaron Rodgers' legacy, his career, everything, his resume, whatever you want to talk about, is Super Bowl champions. He's better than regular season wins. He's better than early playoff wins. It's that last playoff win that eludes them time and time again that keeps him out of the greatest of all time discussion, because he's only got to one Super Bowl. You can't give him greatest of all time when he's sitting right next to somebody that's been to 10 Super Bowls, won 7 of them, and just beat them in their first NFC matchup game together, NFC Championship game matchup game together, and he flounders and loses a game. Unfortunate. I mean, we can't give Aaron Rodgers greatest of all time, folks. Quote here by Aaron Rodgers, we're just focusing on accountability and holding each other accountable, because regardless of what happens with any of our situations, this group will not be together the way it is now in years down the line. So we're going to enjoy this year for all that it has to offer and each other, and I think that's the right perspective to have when you get in this situation. So Aaron Rodgers kind of, hey, we're not going to be in the same situation, all of us together again. So let's make the most of it. And Aaron Rodgers, you better be careful about holding everybody accountable, because that goes for you too. When you're not capitalizing on turnovers that your defense created, and you're having to punt the ball or settle for field goals, and then you lose the game because you lose by 4, 3, 2, 1 points. That's going to be held on you for not getting it done, for not capitalizing, for not getting it done in the red zone, or not taking short field position and turning it into 7 points and settling for field goals. And same thing with the defense. I mean, folks, that's so big, and I think everybody just grazes right over it, that Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions in last season's NFC Championship game, and the Packers still lose the game when Aaron Rodgers didn't turn the ball over. I mean, come on, folks. What the hell is that? And everybody still wants to to give Aaron Rodgers a free pass. I can't anymore, folks. We've been doing that. We haven't been giving him a free pass all offseason long. We've been watching every single one of his playoff performances, judging it, critiquing it harshly, but very fairly, because y'all want to highly regard him as the greatest of all time, which I've got no problem with, but I am going to highly inspect that. If we're talking about the greatest of all time, I don't think when people really talk about the greatest of all time, they really understand what those words mean. The greatest of all time. He is the best of the best at the high pressure situations, the no pressure situations, the medium pressure situations, the winning the championships, making it done, like taking it drive by drive, and when that pressure is there, when you have the opportunity on that one possession or one drive, no matter what game it is, high pressure game, no pressure game, but taking advantage of the moment, and Aaron Rodgers rarely ever does that. There's a reason why Aaron Rodgers is always behind in the fourth quarter, and he engineers these marvelous comebacks, because he's not getting it done in the regular time, when, just a regular drive, no urgency. When there's no urgency on a drive, he's not getting it done. You have to take the full body of work when you are judging the greatest of all time. Yes, Aaron Rodgers has great Hail Mary passes to win the game at the final second. That's great, but Hail Marys aren't really that impressive overall because they're luck. You got to hope the receiver catches it. The Hail Murray last season was more DeAndre Hopkins than it was Kyler Murray. That's basically all of Aaron Rodgers' Hail Marys that, are big plays that everybody wants to bring up, for a greatest of all time argument. Well, I want championships, and none of those Hail Marys led to a championship. Potentially he's won Super Bowl game. He may have had a Hail Mary in the playoffs. I don't think he did. I think all the Hail Marys were other seasons. So there's got to be some accountability on Aaron Rodgers this season. He deserves a lot of the blame for not getting to the Super Bowl the last couple of seasons. And, the media just doesn't like to put any attention on that. But we do that here at Takes by Fans. Nothing goes uncovered here. We shine light on everything. So we'll see what Aaron Rodgers can do this season. We truly think this is going to be his last season, no matter what he says. He did not go this entire offseason in this kind of big tour of calling out the organization and everybody like that. And that just doesn't go away because they restructure his deal and sign a friend of his. I don't think that goes away. So we'll see what happens. But Aaron Rodgers is just enjoying this time, and maybe we should too. We will definitely enjoy the time. We'll try not to have this huge Aaron Rodgers going to be here, not going to be here next season get in the way of not appreciating what Aaron Rodgers does, because Aaron Rodgers is still great. We still have to really kind of, embrace that. Like we just said in the opener, we have to embrace Tom Brady when watching him, because it's going to be gone before you know it, and we're going to be missing those seasons of seeing the greatest of all time in our lifetime live. So we still have to respect Aaron Rodgers, and hopefully he gives us a great season to remember here in Green Bay. All right, next story up here. Let's talk about Jameis Winston. I don't think we've heard from him since he's been officially named the starter here for the Saints. So let's see what Jameis Winston is saying right before the season starts. Now that he is the surefire starting quarterback for the Saints team, let's see how Jameis Winston is feeling here. So let's go into this article and read what Jameis Winston has to say. We get two quotes here, so solid. Let's read the lead up. Here we go. The 27-year-old signed in New Orleans last year as a backup to learn behind Drew Brees in hopes of getting a chance to take over for the future Hall of Famer. After beating out Taysom Hill for the starting gig, Winston has the opportunity to author a rebirth of his career, says, quote, "It's just fun. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to have this opportunity to lead the pack, and I'm just grateful for it. It's been more than a year removed for me having the opportunity, and I'm not taking anything for granted. I'm blessed and grateful." So, great things said there by Jameis Winston. Truly seems like, he's very humbled about last season and really made the most out of it and, showed out in preseason game number 3. Taysom Hill did not show up in any single preseason game, so Jameis Winston truly took the reins of this team and won the quarterback competition. He outright won this quarterback competition. Not every quarterback competition this offseason has truly been won. When we see Trevor Lawrence, that was already given to him. That wasn't even a competition with Gardner Minshew. Trevor Lawrence, he played good, but I don't think he truly won the starting job. The Bears, Andy Dalton did not go out and win the starting job. He looked absolutely pathetic in preseason, and we called it out. We broke down every single preseason game by Andy Dalton, every single throw by Andy Dalton, and the man was not looking anything good. It's just Matt Nagy made a promise, and Matt Nagy is staying true to his promise. For some reason in the NFL, it's a business. You can use that as an excuse, and nobody would even be mad at you. So who else do we got? Mac Jones kind of went out and won the starting job. Cam Newton kind of also lost the starting job. What else do we have? Teddy Bridgewater went out and won the starting job, so well done, and same thing with Jameis Winston. So give them credit for actually going out there, having to compete, true 50-50 quarterback battles out there this training camp, and they went out and won it. And I love that kind of, we've been seeing Jameis Winston's kind of growth here in this offseason and training camp. We've been seeing workout videos. He's been putting in the time and putting in the work, and it truly showed in these preseason games. So I can't be happier for Jameis Winston out here, and we have to just hope that he continues to grow and continue to get better, because we know he's already a great, very, very good quarterback. I don't want to go great quite yet. I'll go great at the end of the season if he's looking real gosh dang great. I've got no problem with that. But he's a real solid, very, very good quarterback right now. He's still young, and he threw 5,000 yards. That deserves so much credit, folks. All right, we get one more quote here, so let's read the lead up. After the Bucs moved on after 5 up-and-down seasons with Winston at the helm, the former number 1 overall pick needed the year to pick up the pieces. Winston famously struggled with turnovers and bad decisions in Tampa, but flashed a big field-stretching arm. In the right system, Winston's talents could flourish. He might have just found it alongside Sean Payton, saying, quote, "It just felt great. I think the whole training camp, we made each other better, and this team grew while we were competing. I was blessed to get the nod, and I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for my teammates for pushing me. I'm grateful for Taysom for pushing me and helping each other get better." So big praise out here by Jameis Winston to everybody. Being humble as always. Another reason why Jameis Winston just seems like a great guy overall. And we'll see how truly much he learned from Drew Brees when it gets tough. If they start out, gosh forbid, they start out kind of 0-4, 0-5. Jameis Winston has to rally the troops for a big time win here. Can he do it? And that's really going to be something that we could potentially see this season, because the Saints team is still a little bit of a question mark. I don't think this Saints team is guaranteed great like they have been the last kind of 15 years under Drew Brees. This could be a really, really bad season potentially for the Saints, with Michael Thomas in the defense and the cornerbacks and them cutting Latavius Murray at the last second. And, maybe Jameis Winston just doesn't pick up the offense as quickly as everybody was thinking after seeing him in preseason game number 3. So hopefully that, because I don't want to see Jameis Winston get clowned in the media. I truly don't want to see that. I don't want to see this man, because he probably won't get a third opportunity, unfortunately, if he comes in here with the Saints and is still, throwing, 25 to 30 interceptions a season. I mean, he's not going to get a third chance, I don't think, unfortunately. So we need Jameis Winston to just be great here, and hopefully he doesn't have anything that holds him back. Hopefully he took everything away from Drew Brees. Hopefully he's still learning from Sean Payton, and hopefully Sean Payton is putting this man in the right system, the right offensive scheme to have success in this league. So Jameis Winston, we're rooting for him. Definitely deserved this job, and we'll see what he can do. What magic is Jameis Winston going to pull off this season? Is he the first quarterback to throw for 6,000 yards? We'll see. I wouldn't put past anything here by Jameis Winston because of that big, strong arm that he's got. So we're looking forward to Jameis Winston out here. Humble as always. Love to hear it, and we'll see what he can do week 1. All right, speaking of quarterbacks out here and maybe not getting a third opportunity, Cam Newton now. He had his second opportunity with the Patriots, didn't make the most of it, and now doesn't have a team and most likely won't play this season, and we'll have to revisit Cam Newton come next year. And we'll know more about the information, what Cam Newton has to say, because we get this quick quote here. We'll know more today when this story comes out. But in his first public comments since being released released by the Patriots, Newton shared a short Instagram clip previewing an upcoming video in which he plans to tell a bigger story. Says, quote, "On this week's Funky Friday, I have a lot of things that I need to get off my chest. This is not a retirement speech, and I have a lot of football still in me." So, Cam Newton Funky Fridays, I don't know what the hell that is. I'm assuming that's some sort of kind of maybe podcast, but some like video where he talks to people. I don't pay that close attention to Cam Newton, unfortunately, to know what Funky Fridays is. But that's today, or tomorrow, folks, Funky Friday. So we'll know more about what Cam Newton has to say come tomorrow. What are all the insights during his time with the Patriots? We've been hearing him just kind of rain praise over Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. I mean, it was literally almost every single week Cam Newton was praising them. Thanking them for giving him this opportunity. And they're so smart, and they know what they're doing, and they're making everybody great. And I know why Tom Brady had success in the system, because they're so smart and great, and they're embracing me, and this offense is working. I mean, he literally had nothing bad to say about Bill Belichick or Josh McDaniels. But does that all get kind of turned around when he's not on the Patriots anymore? So we'll see what his side of the story is, why they cut him, hopefully, why he got beat out by rookie quarterback Mac Jones. That's not the greatest look for him. So he's going to have, his side. He's going to have his tell-all come tomorrow on Funky Friday, folks. So, gear up for that. Set your reminder for Funky Friday. So, Cam Newton, we're going to hear from him. It's not a retirement speech. He still has a lot of football inside of him. So, we'll see what that means. And we'll see if any team takes a chance on Cam Newton. Unfortunately, I would not take a chance on Cam Newton. If I'm giving Cam Newton or Jameis Winston a third shot, I'm going with Jameis Winston 100% of the time. He's got the bigger arm than Cam Newton. It's just what it is. But we'll see what he has to say, and we'll see if any team picks him up come next year. All right, let's still talk about some quarterbacks out here. We're going to be talking about Andy Dalton, and every time this man opens his mouth, I just hate it. It's just like, okay, dude, all right, yes, you're the starter. We get it. Okay, you're not worried about it. You have Matt Nagy under your thumb for some reason. You're the starter. You're the guy. You're so gosh dang good that, you're so good that you won 0 playoff games in like 10 years with the Bengals. That's how good this man is, and he still acts like he's good for some reason, even though it's just proven that he's not, because he won 0 playoff games. It's like, okay, dude. But let's see what Andy Dalton is saying before the start of the season. Andy Dalton, starting quarterback in this league. Watch this man brag about it. Oh, boy. Here we go. Andy Dalton focused on the Rams, not Justin Fields hype. Says, quote, "The worst thing you can do is look over your shoulder." All right. Andy Dalton's not worried about Justin Fields, even though Justin Fields definitely is better than this man already. I take Justin Fields over Andy Dalton any day of the week right now. That's not even a debate. It's not a discussion. It's nothing. I take Justin Fields. I don't even think about Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, I don't even remember the name. Who is that? Get out of my team. Get out of my organization. Are you an imposter? Are you a nobody? I don't even know who that is. Andy Dalton, Bengals quarterback. Yeah, that's not computing with me. That didn't do anything. Did you win a playoff game? Oh, you didn't. That's why we don't know you. Get out of here, please. So let's see what Andy Dalton has to say here, folks. Andy Dalton, we know you're the starter. Relax. Just because Matt Nagy doesn't have, the balls to say, hey, you're not the starter anymore, and kind of go back on his word a little bit, that doesn't mean you're good. But let's see what Andy Dalton says here. Let's see what we get. Here we go. Chicago Bears fans have not hidden their desire to see first-round rookie Justin Fields start under center. However, with Coach Matt Nagy sticking to his preseason plans of rolling into the 2021 season with Andy Dalton as the starting quarterback, those desires are on hold. For Dalton, he can't worry about the fans or media clamoring to see Fields. Says, quote, "That's the worst thing you can do is look over your shoulder." All right, we get anything else here? Here we go. The 33-year-old veteran is only worried about what he can control. Says, quote, "We're talking about tuning out the stuff you don't need to focus on and knowing where you need to put your time and effort and all that kind of stuff. I think that's just where I'm at. You don't worry about all that other stuff." All right, so Andy Dalton, not worried about Justin Fields. I would be worried about Justin Fields. This man, I mean, if Andy Dalton, you better play your ass off, because if you don't play great week 1, you may not play week 2. You probably will play week 2 because it's the Bengals, and Matt Nagy will probably let you play your revenge game. But, I mean, you really only got 2 weeks, and that's going to be one of our predictions when we get to that segment of our final predictions and expectations for the season. It's going to be Andy Dalton. I don't think he makes it past week 3, and we'll tell you why all about that when we get to that. But, Andy Dalton, you need to win games. If you're not winning games, they will switch to Justin Fields immediately. So you can keep saying, hey, I'm not going to look over my shoulder. I'm not going to believe and buy into and focus on all the hype of Justin Fields. That's fine, but you still need to play great. I mean, you can say all these things here, but you still need to put it up in the win column in the stats department, because if you don't, they will have no problem going with Justin Fields, and then we'll get a mopey Andy Dalton being like, I was promised a starting gig and I'm not the starter anymore, and if they were gonna go with the rookie, they should have just let me go before the season so I could have competed with one of those other teams like the Broncos that had an open quarterback competition and all that, and the Saints, and I could have been the starter for the Saints. I could have beat out Jameis Winston. No, you couldn't have. First of all, you couldn't even beat out Taysom Hill. I'm taking Taysom Hill over Andy Dalton any day of the week. I don't care. So, all right, Andy, talk is cheap. You have to go out there and prove it. I mean, you are really in control of it, honestly. If Andy Dalton is winning games, Matt Nagy's not going to make the switch. I mean, 100%. I mean, he's going to take it slow with Justin Fields. He's already shown that he has no problem with taking it slow with Justin Fields. So if Andy Dalton's starting 5-0, 6-0, they will continue to go with Andy Dalton. No debate, because Matt Nagy knows he needs wins this season, and he will only play quarterbacks that will win this season. If Andy Dalton is not winning, they will go to Justin Fields to see if he can win. And if they both can't win, they'll stick with Justin Fields, because if y'all are both not winning, well, I'm going to give experience to the quarterback of the future, and that's not Andy Dalton. So, Andy Dalton, if you can win, you can control your own future. So stop, getting, having these kind of quotes out here that, make you seem like you're getting it done. Hey, I'm not even focusing on Justin Fields. I know this is all the conversation and what the media is talking about, but I'm not focusing on it. Well, okay, but you have to go out there and win. Can you win? Because you haven't proven you can really win. Regular season, yeah, you can kind of win, but does that matter? Do we care about regular season wins? I mean, I truly don't. I don't care about regular season wins in the grand scheme of things. Yes, on a week-to-week basis, yes, obviously we want to see you win because that's the majority. That's what the season is, regular season wins. But, when you've been in the league 10 to 15 years and you have no playoff wins, I don't care about you. If you're a rookie and you're getting those regular season wins, yeah, we care about you because the time is different. We talk about different players differently based on their circumstances. We're not going to talk about Justin Fields like we talk about Andy Dalton, like we talk about Tom Brady, like we talk about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that makes no sense. So, Andy Dalton, just win. Can you just win? Because you weren't even winning in the preseason. So I don't know where all this kind of holier than thou, mightier than thou attitude and wording and phrasing is coming from. You weren't even looking good in the preseason. How aren't you good in preseason? And you're a veteran quarterback. Big Ben came in preseason 2 and slang that thing around. Josh Allen, year 4, was slinging that thing around. You got down 28-0, and then you threw like an 80-yard touchdown pass because the defense was like, this kid can't do anything to us. Okay, we're up 28-0. Okay, score on us. You still can't do anything. We don't care. We've won the game already. It's 28-0. The game is over. So, okay, Andy, you better hope your play packs up your words, or we're going to clown you. Andy Dalton's going to be the player that we clowned this season. Last season, who was it? Did we even clown anybody last year? We clowned Tim Tebow this year in the offseason. We've clowned Aaron Rodgers a little bit, respectfully, of course. So we will be clowning Andy Dalton respectfully, of course, this season. I think this is going to be the target this year. So Andy Dalton, you better hope you win, or you're going to feel the wrath. You'll feel the wrath here, I think, my fans. All right, we get a couple more quotes here, so let's keep reading. All right, with Aaron Donald set to scream toward his face Sunday night in the season opener in Los Angeles, Dalton can only focus on what's in front of him, saying, quote, I mean, he's the type of player you have to know where he's at all times. And I think for him, arguably the best defensive player in the league, and I mean he can change a game, and we understand that. So we've got to give him his respect because he's a great player. Yeah, truly. I mean, Aaron Donald is a game record, 100%. I mean, that's, a kind of a reason. I don't put any weight into it. I don't even even buy it, but that is kind of a reason, a media talking point, if you will, of why Justin Fields not playing week 1 is because, Aaron Donald is on the opposite side of the Chicago Bears offense, and they don't want him to get injured or, scared or timid or have that be his first look in the NFL, which I think is kind of garbage to even think about in that regards. This is football. I mean, you go out there and play the game. I'm not going to hide you because there's good defenders on the opposing side. You get your ass out there and make do. Try your best. Hopefully it works out, and if it doesn't, we'll try and fix it next week, but I'm not going to hide anybody from good defensive edge rushers. How lame is that? All right, we get one more quote. Here we go. Let's read the lead up. Nagy has consistently said how Dalton performs will dictate how soon Fields might see action. The veteran signal caller wants to prove he's more than just a stand-in for the rookie. Says, quote, there's a lot that's gone on since March, but all that's led to this point right here. Regardless of everything that's gone on, we're here at week 1, and this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted this opportunity, and now we're looking forward to making the most of it. So, yeah, Andy, hey, this is your very, very last chance. This is your last chance. Seize the moment. I mean, Cam Newton's probably not going to get 3 chances. Jameis Winston maybe gets 3 chances. Probably not if he's still throwing interceptions, but Andy Dalton found his way to a 3rd chance out here. Make the most of it. We don't think you will, but if you do, we'll kind of embrace you a little bit as much as you're showing, but I don't think that happens, so I don't think I have to worry about it, but if it does happen, we'll try our best to congratulate you. So we'll see what Andy Dalton does this season. He knows he better know that he's in control of his own dynasty, his own destiny right here. If he wants to continue to be the Bears quarterback, then go out and win games, because you didn't do that in Dallas last season with an exceptional offense. I know the defense was kind of trash, I get it, but this Bears offense is nowhere near the caliber that Cowboys offense was. So Andy Dalton, you better hope you are putting in the work. You better hope that you can elevate these wide receivers on this Bears team, because it's going to be all on you to elevate everybody. You will get all the blame. You will get all the glory. Go out and take it if you want it. It's there for you. So we'll see what he does. All right, let's start talking about some wide receivers here, folks. A lot of people are saying they're number 1. Who do we believe? Do we even agree with any of them? Because it's not Tyreek Hill. So what the hell? Why is Tyreek Hill not saying he's the number 1 wide receiver? Maybe because he doesn't need to say it? Ever think about that? All right, but here we go. Amari Cooper. This man says he's the number 1 wide receiver, but he kind of counter argues himself. I'm blanking on the word I was trying to use. But here we go. Amari Cooper says, quote, I think I'm the best receiver in the league. Do I think I'm the best? Yes. Have I proven it? I wouldn't say I have. What? You said I think I'm the best receiver in the league. Do I think I'm the best? Yes. Have I proven it? I wouldn't say I have. Okay, so you have to go out there and prove it. So he thinks he's the best wide receiver, but even himself thinks, hey, maybe I can do a little bit more. Well, I know I can do a little bit more. Amari Cooper is kind of saying, hey, I haven't even reached my maximum potential. I know what I can do. I just haven't done it on the field. So hopefully he does it on the field this season. Hopefully he has a little bit of an easier time doing it this season because he's got CeeDee Lamb next to him. Once again, CeeDee Lamb, just so great and is making other wide receivers that are kind of ranked better than him just because they've been in the league a little bit more, and he's making them even better. That's kind of good. So Amari Cooper says he hasn't proven that he's the best wide receiver in the league, but he does think he is the best. So we'll see what he can do this season, if he can truly prove it this season. Prove it this year. Let's see what he can do. We have been seeing him in training camp and all that. And he's looking great. We know he's a great wide receiver. We just don't have him, number 1. We've got Tyreek Hill in that position. DK Metcalf kind of in the top 3 as well. I would put Amari Cooper maybe top 7. And it's no disrespect because, like we said, folks, the wide receivers in this league, are so freaking good. So, if you're in the top 10 of wide receivers in this league, that's still real good, and that's not knocking any wide receivers. To be in the top 3 and the top 5, I mean, that is truly exclusive territory just because of how great talent-wise this league is kind of filled with DeAndre Hopkins and Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper and these emerging great wide receivers of Justin Jefferson and Jerry Jeudy, I mean, and CeeDee Lamb, I mean, and Darren Waller, he's a tight end, but geez Louise. So, great wide receivers in this league, and Amari Cooper is going to try and prove it this season, so we'll see if he can do that. But somebody else is saying that they're the number 1 wide receiver. Corey Davis says, quote, I know I'm a number 1 wide receiver in this league. So he is a number 1 wide receiver, but is he the number 1? Is he the number 1, the best? So let's see what Corey Davis has to say about how good he is. Is he showing it? Let's see if he's showing how great he is. So here we go. A former top 5 draft pick, Corey Davis, was never viewed as a number 1 target during 4 seasons with the Tennessee Titans. Signing with the New York Jets this offseason, the 6'3" wideout is ready to change the perception that he's merely a good second fiddle. Davis wants to prove he's a concert master, saying, quote, I know that I'm a number 1 receiver in this league. It's great that the Jets saw that during free agency. I'm ready for it. I've always thought of myself as a number 1 wide receiver, and I have to go out there and prove it to the league. Now, he was with the Titans the last couple of seasons with A.J. Brown, once again getting diluted because you have 2 great wide receivers and you have a great running game. Now, this is truly Corey Davis's moment, his opportunity to prove, hey, I am the real deal. I am a number 1 wide receiver in this league, because he has to really go out and do it all himself. He's got a rookie quarterback, a rookie head coach, not really any great supporting weapons, running back wise or receiver-wise. We can take a quick look at their depth chart. I mean, Corey Davis is the number 1 wide receiver, obviously. Then we have Jamison Crowder and Keelan Cole, and then rookie Elijah Moore. So, I mean, these are not, DeAndre Hopkins-esque and, A.J. Green-esque when you got kind of that second fiddle. It's not like a CeeDee Lamb to Amari Cooper where they've got 2 great ones. It's not like last season, like we said, A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, or even this season with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. So, Corey Davis doesn't have that great A1 tier 1 as a number 2 option. He's the number 1 option, and the number 2 option is a number 2 wide receiver in this league, Jamison Crowder. What did he do last season? 700 yards receiving. He's only 5'9", too, not the greatest. And then their running backs, they got Tevin Coleman. He's not a number 1 running back in this league. He's not kind of, a running back that can give us 12, 15, 2,000 yards a single season in his own right and just carry the load, be a workhorse running back. He doesn't have that. The depth there at the running back position of Ty Johnson and rookie Michael Carter. Once again, they've got no great kind of running backs there. Running back by committee, can't really see it. We need Tevin Coleman to really get it done himself, and we haven't really seen that either. So it's truly going to be Corey Davis's moment to prove that he's got what it takes to be the main man, get locked up by the number 1 wide receiver, get double teamed for the most part, because why wouldn't you double team Corey Davis? That's the only great offensive weapon here, and we'll see if he can still get production that leads to wins, that leads to points, that leads to long sustainable drives, and he's going to have to go out there and prove it. And we definitely think he can. We loved what we saw in preseason. Zach Wilson going to him over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. We love that. And, that kind of shows that Corey Davis is up for the challenge for catching and being the main target there by Zach Wilson, knowing that they have to work on their timing and that they were getting it done in preseason. Corey Davis is up for the tall task of being kind of the true number 1 wide receiver on this team, and he's saying it, and we can't wait to watch him this year. All right, we get one more quote here, so let's read the lead up. Davis looked that part during training camp in preseason. The veteran was rookie Zach Wilson's go-to target, a trend that should continue in Week 1 versus Carolina. Wilson gushed over Davis's ability to get open and lead. A quote here by Zach Wilson on Corey Davis. Quote, just the way he approaches a game, in the way that he just does everything right, and he never complains about anything. You're never calling on him in meetings for not giving enough effort on a play or something like that. Guys see that, and everyone is just like, geez, look at Corey. This guy's always doing the right thing. He's obviously physically blessed. He's got good size too, and he catches the ball well, and he knows how to run routes. But I think it's just his demeanor and the way he approaches the game game. I mean, that's fantastic. You still have to be a leader. I mean, a quality that makes, a great kind of player, like an A1, tier 1 in their regarded position, whether it's quarterback, running back, wide receiver, whatever it is kind of a leadership factor. We've been hearing from Dak Prescott in Hard Knocks. We know he's a great quarterback, but him being a great leader just makes him so much better. And Corey Davis, going to the Jets and not complaining. He could have complained to go to the Jets. I mean, it's the Jets. It's unfortunate they've been bad for the last couple of decades, but at least for the last couple of years, they haven't been the best. So Corey Davis, a high caliber wide receiver who literally could have gone anywhere. It's not like nobody wanted Corey Davis. Corey Davis could instantly go to any solid team, above average team, and make them kind of Super Bowl contenders just like that. That's how great of a wide receiver and a weapon that he is. And the fact that he's doing everything right, and he's never complaining, and he's being a nice kind of mentor to the other kind of guys here on this team that, can look up to him and be like, damn, that's what, great wide receivers in this league do consistently over and over again. Sheesh, I want to be like that. So that's great here by Corey Davis, being a great mentor, a nice veteran piece to this young core of this new kind of Jets team overall. And we'll see if he can kind of prove that he is the main man, which we know he can be. So Corey Davis views himself as a number one option, and I would definitely agree with that. All right, the last wide receiver to talk about here that is definitely not the number one wide receiver in the league or a number one wide receiver on a team. And we know this instantly because he's not catching any passes, and now he's making excuses that seem like absolute wild nonsense to even say or even to think about. I don't even know if I would even think about saying this. And he went out there and said it anyway. So Ja'Marr Chase says he's struggling to adjust to catching an NFL ball. Here's what he has to say, folks. This is what he has to say. Get ready because it's a doozy. Here we go. The ball is different because it is bigger. It doesn't have the same white stripes on the side, so you can't see the ball coming from the tip point, so you actually have to look for the strings on the top of the ball, which is hard to see because whole ball is brown and you have the 6 strings that are white. Ja'Marr Chase is blaming his drop struggles on the ball. The college ball was smaller and it had big white stripes that you could see it a half a mile away. This NFL ball is bigger and it's a lot browner. I can't see it. Y'all can see this ball? Y'all telling me you can see this brown thing coming at me? What do y'all focus on? The little white things at the top? The strings? The white strings? I have to focus on the white strings? But I only see brown. This is what the man is saying, folks. And y'all wanted to clown me on my YouTube comments because I said I'm worried about Ja'Marr Chase. And now he's saying he can't catch the ball because it's too big and brown. Okay. Okay, I'll let y'all say that. I'll let y'all still believe in Ja'Marr Chase, even though that he just said these words right here. The ball is too hard to catch because it's big and brown. Not enough white on it. This is what the man said, folks. He said these words. He thought this would be good to say. He thought this would make him look better if he said this. This is why he said it. This is the number one wide receiver taken in this year's draft. The ball is too big and brown. That's why I can't catch it. It's not me being a year removed from the game. It's not me not being able to get separation against grown men out here in the NFL system. It's that the ball is too big. Too brown. Y'all can see this brown object flying at you. Maybe he's colorblind. Maybe he just doesn't see brown. That could be a case. When was the last time he got his eyes checked? Did he take a couple of years removed off from going to his yearly eye appointment? Do y'all understand what this man just said right here? But I'm wrong for having concerns about Ja'Marr Chase. and saying that Jalen Waddle's already a lot better than him in the league, and saying that Devontae Smith, who both those wide receivers went after Jamar Chase. This was the Bengals made this decision. They had their cream of the crop, and they chose a man that says a ball is too big and brown for me to catch it. The ball is different because it is bigger. It doesn't have the white stripes on the side, so you can't see the ball coming from the tip point. So you actually have to look for the strings on the top of the ball, which is hard to see because the whole ball is brown. And you have the 6 strings that are white. This is what the man is saying, folks. Are you listening? Are you listening to what this man is saying? 1 of 5 catches in the preseason because the ball is too big and brown. Well, I hate to say it, but the regular season game ball is the same game ball in the preseason. So that's unfortunate. Ball doesn't get any less brown and doesn't get any smaller. So the man has never been practicing catching a NFL ball. Wild. So we see that the Bengals didn't do their due diligence on Jamar Chase. Were they using college footballs in all the kind of practice sessions in the private workouts? Because that may have not been the smartest decision. Jamar Chase is like, hang on, y'all got the big brown balls? No, I'm used to the smaller brown, bigger white ones. The smaller white ones. Where are those at? That's what I can catch. I can catch it. Yeah, those ones. Yeah, give me those ones. And the Bengals were like, that's a little odd. But okay, we'll cater to them. We kind of like them. Kind of want them. So we'll cater to them. We'll throw them college footballs. But at the end of the day, that was a bad move on their part. They should have been throwing them the big brown balls. So, y'all can hate on me. I've got no problem with y'all hating on me. I see what y'all say about me. I don't care. I see what y'all say. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I'm still having my doubts on Jamar Chase, and I am this close, folks. I am this close. After this statement, I am now this close of saying this man is a bust, wiping my hands of this whole situation, and just moving on. I don't care about Jamar Chase anymore, folks. Truly, you're gonna use this as an excuse of why you're dropping all the passes. Good luck. Good luck. I don't. How can you defend what he? How can anybody defend? If I was the Bengals and I heard somebody say this. If it's not a rookie, I cut him immediately. Even maybe a rookie. If he's not a first-round pick, I cut him. What the hell did you just say? You said you can't catch the ball because it is big and brown and you can't see the white on it? You're gone. Get the hell off my team. I don't want you anymore. Jamar Chase, you're lucky that you are their first-round pick. Because anybody else is not getting this treatment. You get cut immediately, and you get blackballed from the league, and you can go back to playing maybe I don't know what the Canadian Football League uses. Maybe they have a smaller, brighter ball that will just pop and sparkle. Maybe we should be bedazzling these footballs so Jamar Chase can see it. The man can't see the ball, folks. The man cannot see a ball coming at him. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't wait to see this man week 1. Oh, man. Week 1 film study on Jamar Chase. Oh, we're going to have a field day. I cannot wait. So that's y'all's favorite wide receiver. Making excuses because the ball is too brown. Okay. Okay, y'all. Y'all go with that one. I can't believe he said that. So that's the differences in wide receivers that we just talked about. Amari Cooper. I think I'm the best receiver in the league, but I don't think I've proven it. I've got a lot more to prove and a lot more to show. I'm ready to go and show it. Corey Davis. I'm a number 1 wide receiver in this league. I know I am, and I'm ready to show it. I'm ready to work with Zach Wilson. I've been putting in the work. I've been putting in the time, so our chemistry, year 1 is good to go week 1. And then we get Jamar Chase. Yeah, I can't catch the big balls. Yeah, those are too big. Y'all got anything smaller? What about Tom Brady's guy? He's got somebody that can shorten the ball. I heard he makes the ball smaller, right? What? Oh, that's illegal. Oh, you can't do that? But Tom Brady did it. I'm not Tom Brady. Can you give me the guy's number that did it? Okay. So, that's Jamar Chase. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong. I'll let y'all make the decision if it's Amari Cooper, Corey Davis, or Jamar Chase. is Jamar Chase. Let's move on because that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Truthfully. All right. Next story up. We got 2 more to go over quickly. So here we go. Cardinals general manager Steve Keim says, quote, "My expectations are certainly to go to the playoffs and even further." And yes, that's exactly what we want to hear. This is a no-brainer. I mean, after all the offseason moves that this Cardinals team has made offensively, defensively, just to shore everything up, this is playoffs or bust, obviously, and really kind of deep playoff run or bust. It's a tough division, unfortunate for the Cardinals, but there are still 3 wild card spots to be had. So you need to make the most out of those wild card spots, if you aren't planning to win the division, which isn't a knock against this Cardinals team. It's just that's the best division in football by a mile. So it's unfortunate. But let's see what the expectations are here, which they should be, and let's see what they're saying. So here we go. The Arizona Cardinals have been couched for the postseason in the last 5 years, but general manager Steve Keim is shooting a bit higher for 2021. Says, quote, "I know everybody's got different expectations, but my expectations are certainly to go to the playoffs and even further." Absolutely. Nobody's expectations in that Cardinals organization should be anything less than playoff berth. Absolutely not. Kyler Murray's too good. Your wide receiver core is too good. Your defense is now too good. Now you got J.J. Watt and Budda Baker's, one of the top 5. I even think top 3. I think he's top 2. Well, top 3 now since Jamal Adams or Xavier Howard got his money again. But, he's top 5 paid corners in this league now, folks. I mean, you've got to put up or shut up. So they've got pieces everywhere. Unfortunately, lost Peterson. What's his first name? Jeez. The cornerback Peterson. I don't know why I'm blanking on that, man. He's good. Well, he was good in his prime. He went to the Vikings. Regardless. But either way, they've got pieces everywhere. They need to make it work. All right. One more quote here, so let's read this lead up. 2 more quotes. Here we go. Arizona finished 8-8 last season, a big improvement from 5-10-1 in 2019, but also a far cry from the 12-4 record that earned the Seahawks the AFC West crown. Still, Keim believes the 2021 Cardinals are ready for a postseason breakthrough, saying, quote, "I think there's no doubt. I think last year we were a playoff team." I truly think that too. They just unfortunately floundered at the back end. Again, I think we didn't play up to the standards when it comes to the discipline and the penalties and all the things that we knew we had to improve upon. Physically, at times, tackling, all those things that we needed to address. I think this offseason with the additions that we made, we certainly put our best foot forward with leadership and accountability and attention to details, as well as the physical traits we needed, which we're taking the top off the defense, having guys that were physical on defense and that can run and cover. I think will certainly play up to the expectations this year because all those additions, as well as the guys we've drafted in the past few years, particularly the quarterback Kyler Murray, that have continued to grow and develop into the player we certainly thought he was coming out. One more quote, so let's read the lead up here. Those additions include defensive end J.J. Watt, wide receiver A.J. Green, offensive lineman Rodney Hudson, and an exciting linebacker prospect and first-round draft pick Zaven Collins. All indications are that Collins, a massive linebacker at 6'4", 260, will have a quick impact for a defense that finished a dismal 27th overall in the NFL total defense last season. Quote here by Steve Keim. Quote, "The thing that impressed us through the draft process the most about Zaven is maybe the mental makeup, his professionalism, the way he attacks the game in terms of his mental preparation, his study habits. It's the way he has commanded and when he talks in the room. Like when we interview him in the offseason, he was one of the most impressive guys during the draft process that we talked to. Our linebacker coach, Billy Davis, went up and spent the day with him and had him on the grease board. I mean, the guy's football IQ is really, really high. So, once again, they made the additions offensively, defensively through free agency and draft. Expectations are there. They know what they lacked on last season, attention to details, penalties, discipline. They fixed all that this offseason, and now they're ready to rock. Kyler Murray has to continue to get better. AJ Green can hopefully kind of return to his primetime form, and I don't think there's any doubts about what DeAndre Hopkins can do. Top 5 wide receiver in this league, definite top 10. I think you can make the argument for top 5. So big expectations from the top, the general manager, and I'm sure that gets trickled down. So watch out for the Cardinals this season. Big pressure on them, and we'll see if they rise to the occasion. All right, and then the last thing to talk about here, not great, but Giants running back Saquon Barkley was once again limited in practice. So once again, we have no concrete information if this man is going to play in week 1. So let's read this article quickly right here. It's not going to have any quotes in it, but we have to get some information. Is there something that we can buy into, sink our teeth into, that will let us know that he is good to go for week 1? Let's, I want to do a quick search on Twitter for Saquon Barkley. We get anything for week 1? What's the latest news on him? Anybody got any updates on this dude? Somebody said I don't know what I'm talking about on my YouTube comments when I brought up Saquon Barkley and how we were nervous for him for week 1. He said I don't know information. I don't have any information. Okay, dude. So yeah, this is why we're nervous, folks, because once again, he's limited in practice, not playing in practice, limited in practice. I mean, folks, we're like 4 days away from the start, from Sunday. Like, hey, you got to get hit at some point. You have to start being not limited in practice. So let's see what is going on here with Saquon Barkley, folks. The big question for Big Blue this week, will Saquon Barkley be ready to play against the Denver Broncos on Sunday? By Wednesday's indication, Barkley was listed by the New York Giants as limited in practice. The answer will have to defer at least another day. The Giants' gifted running back is in the end stages of recovery from a torn ACL suffered in week 2 last season. He's been given an incrementally increased workload throughout the preseason and responded well enough that week 1 action remains in reach. However, his participation in tomorrow's practice, which is today, could be the tipping point for a decision. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport noted on Monday that the club's assessment of Barkley's readiness for the opener will continue through Thursday. A full-go Thursday practice for Barkley would be an ideal sign for his availability. The number 2 overall pick for the 2018 draft enjoyed a brilliant rookie season with 2,028 total yards, 1,300 rushing, and 700 yards receiving. He was effective again in 2019, though he missed 3 games with an ankle sprain. Then last year's knee injury washed out his early season. So we don't know what is going on with Saquon Barkley. And, this guy, he really had me kind of heated because, folks, we've been talking about Saquon Barkley every single day on this show. So don't tell me I don't have my information or I don't have the facts. I want to read this quote here. I'm not going to pull it up on screen because I'm not going to put his name out there or whatever, his username that he commented me under. Where is it at? I'm going through them, folks. A lot of comments dissing me. Here we go. This dude, 4 days ago on our video, he said, Saquon Barkley is playing week 1. Lack of info, my guy. Oh, yeah, lack of info, because we just read that, hey, it's still uncertain. So, you lack of info, dude, my guy. Yeah. Don't come at me with lack of info, my guy. What are you talking about? You got a lack of info on our show. You're not watching our show every day, or you would know that that is not lack of info, my guy. We know Saquon Barkley's status is up in the air. Folks, we've been the biggest kind of advocate for Saquon Barkley week 1. Has anybody been talking about Saquon Barkley as much as we've been talking about Saquon Barkley? No. So I think we would know what's going on with Saquon Barkley. We've got the canvas on the man behind us, folks. It's not like we don't know Saquon Barkley. So don't come at me saying I got lack of info, my guy. You got the lack of info, my man. Okay? Michael Cannon, what's good? What's good? So don't come at me like that, okay? He's not ready to go week 1, not 100%. We'll know maybe today, but also maybe not, because that's also what we've been getting with Saquon Barkley, pushing the buck down the line, down the road. Oh, he's good. He's good. He's not ready yet, but he's good. A week later, hey, he's good, but he's not ready yet. A week later, hey, he's good. He's not ready yet. A week later, hey, he's good. A month later, hey, he's good. He's not ready yet. 2 months later, hey, he's good. He's not ready yet. 2 days before the NFL season, he's good. He's not ready yet. So don't come at me with the lack of info, my guy. What you talking about? All right. Those were all the stories that we needed to cover and break down for today. So now let's head over to our official first pick of the regular season. Whew, we did great in our preseason picks. I think we only missed like 2, and I want to say we maybe picked like 7, 8, 9 games, so real solid there. But this is when it counts, folks. This is when it all counts. We will be keeping track of all of our picks, hit and misses, hopefully no misses, but this is the time where it all starts to matter. So, here we go, folks. First game to bet on of the year. Let's get it done, folks. Here we go. Thursday night football. Cowboys at Bucks. Cowboys +9. Bucks -9. Sheesh. Now, this was 8.5 yesterday, and it's been all the way bumped up to +9, -9. So, let's get all the ins and outs here for this game, for this matchup, for this contest tonight. So, for the Cowboys, Zach Martin is out. Unfortunate. We get Malik Turner out, Neville Gallimore out, Reggie Robinson, Mike Hyatt, Sean McKean, Siwo Olunaolua, Rico Dowdle, Thurston Hill, Kelvin Joseph, Josh Bell, and TJ Vasher. Now, most of those players are not even going to be playing anyway. They're just out. Unfortunate. The only big name is Zach Martin. Everybody else is ready to go. Dak Prescott, everybody is ready to go. So the offensive line is going to take a little bit of a hit here, which is not great because we know the Bucs have a great defense. Now for the Bucs, the only people out are Cam Gill and Justin Watson. So once again, just nobody. So all the starters are basically playing for the Bucs, and all the starters are basically playing for the Cowboys, except for their offensive lineman, Zach Martin. Now, what do we like about this Cowboys team? The offense. The offense is fantastic. Dak Prescott with CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper and Ezekiel Elliott, they will get it done, no problem. Unfortunately, they are going against a Bucs defense that was absolutely at the peak of its potential last season in the Super Bowl. And now they're all together. They had an entire offseason in person to work with each other, and now they're once again at home. I mean, can the Bucs get anything difficult for them? Can Tom Brady stop getting everything handed to this man on a silver spoon? Home Super Bowl, home season opener, Thursday night against the Cowboys that doesn't even have a good defense. I mean, this Cowboys defense, folks, I don't know if I can even get behind it. I mean, Dan Quinn, I like Micah Parsons. I do like that dude, but he's a rookie. And they've got Dan Quinn as their defensive coordinator, and they didn't win any preseason games. I know that's not, something that we should really put too much weight into, but I have a small weight on that because you should still be able to coach up your backups. I mean, preseason is really all about coaching. What are we trying to see? What players are stepping it up that we coach through practice, that we've been getting on so we can get the best out of, and if they don't kind of get the best out of them in the regular season game or in the preseason games, maybe they're not coaching good enough or whatever it is. So I put preseason games in the stock of coaching a little bit right there, and we know this Cowboys team just doesn't have that many great any good coaches. Honestly, I don't really like anybody coaching here for this Cowboys team. It's like they got all the misfits, from previous coaching hires, Ben McAdoo, Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, Joe Philbin. It's like, this is your coaching roster? They never had any success in the league besides Mike McCarthy, and that was because of Aaron Rodgers. It's like, okay. This Buccaneers team, on the other hand, they've got a great coaching personnel. Bruce Arians is great. Todd Bowles is a great defensive coordinator. And then they've just got great coaches all around them because they listen to their input. They're diverse as heck, and they just know football. Bruce Arians knows football, and he hires coaches that knows football. Mike McCarthy, I don't know if he knows football. I don't know if any of his coaches know football. Really. So, Not great there. So Cowboys, Bucks at home. They've got a great offense. They've got a great defense. Tom Brady versus this Cowboys defense, I really think is going to shred it. And this Cowboys offense, I know it's good, but this Bucks defense is so solid. I just don't think that they can keep up scoring. I think they can put up some solid points, maybe 20. Maybe they can put up 20 points, but this Bucks team has like a ceiling of like 45 points. This Cowboys team has like a ceiling of like 28. I don't really see them putting up more than 28 points here. And especially with the offensive line, missing Zach Martin. So Ezekiel Elliott, he's already expecting to get off to a slow start. He made the excuse already. Zach Martin, he's the one that, we always kind of run off of for touchdowns. So he's not there. So Ezekiel Elliott already kind of, tempering down the expectations. That's not what we like to hear. Same thing with Kenny Galladay saying, hey, we're going to get out to a slow start. We don't want to hear that. What the hell are you talking about? I mean, folks, we everybody, fans, media, we go crazy in the offseason. Everybody's got a chance to win. Everybody's buying up Dan Campbell, and everybody's buying up Robert Sala, who are rookie head coaches in this league. Everybody's buying up Urban Meyer, who's a rookie head coach in this league, saying that they can have great success this season. Everything is optimistic for every single team, even the worst teams. But then we're having players, 1 week before the start of the season, and they're starting to temper down expectations. What the heck? Optimism should be at an all-time high right before week 1, right before the first game gets played, where everything gets shown on tape, and all your kind of vulnerabilities are kind of shown to everybody. Oh, this is what y'all can't do? Oh, we're going to exploit that for the rest of the season. Optimism should be at an all-time high right now. I don't care if some players are missing time, some of your key players are missing time. I don't care. You just went through an entire training camp period to find your backups and your role players and all that. And so you should be high on them. Hey, Zach Martin isn't there, but let's just use this name. I don't know who they're going to go with. I guess we can look that up. Let's look that up. Who they're going to go with as a replacement for Zach Martin. I was just going to use the example of Isaac Alarcon just because we've been seeing him in Hard Knocks. You'd go to, Ezekiel Elliott should have said, yeah, we have no Zach Martin, but I believe in Isaac Alarcon. I've been kind of watching him in practice and in training camp, running behind him in some reps, and hey, I'm a firm believer that he can step up and get it done. But Ezekiel Elliott saying, hey, all of our touchdowns kind of run off of Zach Martin, and he's not going to be out there. So we may get out to a little bit of a slow start. Why would you even say that? That has, and the one thing that drives me crazy is that nobody really thinks about a team, and this goes for everything. I mean, I see it all the time when I'm playing like competitive online games. People don't think in a team mentality. Do y'all not understand that your teammates hear everything you say, and if you don't have complete confidence in them, that's going to kind of lower their self-confidence, which kind of results into them playing a little bit more poorly. Oh, Zeke doesn't believe in me. Oh, why doesn't Zeke believe in me? And, there's also the other point of, using that as motivation, and, that works for some people. It doesn't work for everybody. Everybody has a different coaching style, a different kind of just a coaching style. I mean, in the real world, there's like different leaders, like your boss kind of has to use different approaches for all of his employees because they react differently. Some people you can get on their ass and they will rise to the occasion. Some people you ride their ass, they flounder. That's not their coaching style. That's for their leadership style. Is that what I'm trying to search for? I don't know if that's the word. But there's just different coaching and leadership techniques in the fact that, Ezekiel Elliott is coming out and saying, maybe our running game isn't going to be good now because Zach Martin's not here. Let's see who the backup is now for their offensive lineman. Zach Martin's out, so they're going to probably go with Connor McGovern. So, Connor McGovern hears this, and he's like, well, y'all don't believe in little old me out here? I can get it done. I know he's a starter, but I'm still serviceable. Y'all can still run behind me. You don't have to not run on the right side anymore because Zach Martin's not there. So it's just like people don't think about the team mentality. Everything's got to be believe in the media. Everything you say has to say, I believe in my team and I love this team and all that, because if you say something bad about the team and certain players, they're going to hear that and maybe not rise to the occasion because that's not their coaching style, what makes their engine tick. We hear from Cam Newton all the time, oh, the haters motivate me, the haters fuel me, I see everything, I use that as fuel. He says it every year, folks, and nothing changes. He's still not that great anymore. So, he says that, but that's not what gets the best out of Cam Newton. of feeding into the haters. It doesn't work. So yes, you can say things. It doesn't mean it's true. 95% of what I say is not what I mean. Tom Brady. I mean, folks, you have to apply that with literally everybody. So I just don't like that by Zeke. They're on the road as well. Mike McCarthy back against the wall. Really needs a good showing this week. I think he kind of flounders a little bit. So before we make our official pick, I want to go back to last season. And I want to see what kind of that Thursday night game looked like. Was it a big outlier? Was it competitive? Should we be expecting a competitive game or a blowout game? Because if we're just looking at this game on paper, it should be a blowout. This Bucs team overall, collectively, offensively, defensively, coaching, special teams, and superstar players on the team, on the roster overall, this Bucs team is 1,000% better than the Cowboys. And that's not knocking the Cowboys per se. It's just how great this Bucs team actually is on paper. This may be one of the best assembled teams in NFL history. I think I said that yesterday, and I'm here to stand by it again today. So, we love the Cowboys offense. I love Dak, folks. I put him in top 10 definitely, top 7 debatably. Top 5, debatably. I've got no problem debating Dak Prescott in top 5 quarterbacks. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, top 5 wide receiver duo in the league. Ezekiel Elliott, top 8 running back in the league. No problem. So I do like this Cowboys offense, but I think the defense is really going to be the thing that makes this team not great come Thursday, come today, come later tonight. So let's see what happened last season's Thursday night game. All right, it was Texans at Chiefs, and once again, Deshaun Watson supposed to be competitive right here, and the Chiefs won by 14 points, 34-20, and wasn't that kind of what we were kind of saying their kind of ceilings were? We kind of thought the Cowboys would put up like 21 points, and the Chiefs could put up 35, no problem. We called the 28 ceiling for the Cowboys, 45 for the Chiefs. Basically what this kind of turned out to be last year. I want to see if I can bring up the total spread. Can I bring up the spread here? I don't know if they're going to have the spread. I would assume this would be like a 7-point spread as well. Maybe it was like 5.5, minus 5.5 for the Chiefs. Chiefs at home, win by 14 against the Texans. Let's quickly see what happened in this game. Deshaun Watson put up 253 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes coming off the Super Bowl win, puts up 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, not turning the ball over. So let me see if I can bring up the spread of this game. Texans, Chiefs, 2020, week 1, spread. I want to see what the spread was. Was it a big spread? Because this is a 9-point spread, folks. And look at this. Here we go. Last season, a 9-point spread for the Chiefs. They win by 14. This was last season, folks. It's a 9-point spread. Is this a coincidence? This is kind of crazy, no? 9-point spread? 2 teams that should have been good, but it was a blowout at the end of the day. 14-point win for the Chiefs last season. 2 good teams right here overall. Bucs, 9-point favorites. They win by 14. So everything is adding up for us to take the Bucs tonight. I'm going to take the Bucs. I just cannot believe in the Cowboys defense. If the Cowboys defense it was a little bit better and we could believe in them and the spread was still +9, I would take them if the Cowboys defense was showing us anything. But it just hasn't been showing us anything in Hard Knocks, in preseason games, anything like that, in personnel and coaching, nothing like that. I got to believe in the Bucs. Tom Brady gets his team ready to rock. I don't think Mike McCarthy has his team ready to rock. Dak Prescott will. But at the end of the day, I mean, this Bucs team is just looking a little bit more collective as a unit than the Cowboys are overall. So I'm taking the Cowboys -9 for our first bet, our first spread taken of the 2021 NFL regular season. We're ready to start off 1-0, folks. Make some money with us tonight. Bucs -9. Alrighty. The last thing I want to do for today before we exit and prepare. I mean, we got hours to prepare, folks. After this show, what do we got? We end at like 1:30. Game kicks off at 8:30. That's about 7 hours. We've got 7 hours of just relaxing and meditating and waiting for the season. Can't wait. But before we get into that 7 hours of meditation and relaxation, gearing up for week 1 kickoff, we are going to get all of our final thoughts and predictions and expectations on what we think is going to happen and develop over the course of the 2021 season. We'll check. I don't know if we're going to check on this list periodically throughout the season, or if we're just going to kind of wait until the end of the season and then revisit this list and see what we got right and what we got wrong. Probably won't get anything wrong because we know what's going to happen this season. But let's get everything on the record here. So all of our final thoughts before the season begins. I don't even want the Thursday night game to cloud our judgment, because if the Cowboys come out and blow out the Bucs, I mean, we might have to kind of retool our thinking and everything. But we're not even going to let that happen. We are going to get all of our final predictions and expectations on this season. So we've got a lot written down here, and if some come to us or we want to kind of search for more, we'll keep going until we're done, because who knows? Who knows how much we can expect to happen this season. But let's see. Here we go. First thing up here. First prediction. This is a prediction. So we have predictions and expectations. So predictions, obviously what we predicted is going to happen, and then expectations, really on the kind of the rookie quarterbacks and the first-time head coaches out here. That's really where we're going to put expectations on, and what we want to see happen to have a successful season, to classify it as a successful season. So that's the expectations are really coming from the first-time head coaches and rookies. But here we go. Prediction number 1. Derrick Henry breaks the single season rushing record at 2,105 yards. Now, there is 17 games this season, so, obviously a little bit easier for him to break the record, because when Eric Dickerson did it, it was only 16 games. So I went back to his record, Eric Dickerson, and he was averaging 131 yards a game. So we added 131 yards to the 2,105 to give us a grand total of 2,236 yards. That's really the mark we want to see, because if it extrapolated 17 games for Eric Dickerson, this is what he would have put up. So we want Derrick Henry to, yes, break the single season rushing record, but it's got to be a little bit more impressive because you have an extra game. So 2,236 yards is more impressive. But we do think this man's going to break the record. He's been rushing better every single season. Every single year, his yards have been increasing. And last season, it was like 2,030, something like that. Very, very close to breaking the record. And we think he breaks the record this season. So this season, Derrick Henry breaks the single season rushing record. Yes, with 17 games. But if he can do it, if he can put up like 2,237 yards, that would be impressive, because that would basically be what Eric Dickerson did in 17 games. So, all right. Our next prediction is that Darren Waller will be the number 1 tight end in the league by the time the season is over. And we are going to be... Let me get this up. Okay. And we are going to be keeping track of tight ends. This is the big narrative we are watching for this season. How are the tight ends progressing? How are they playing? Are they all getting better? Are they all looking good? Because this could be a turning point for tight ends in the NFL. We're already kind of in a new era of the NFL, in a 17-game system, a 17-game season. We've been kind of seeing for the last kind of 5 to 7 years the passing game get better and better and better. And now the tight ends all the tight ends, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and Greg Olsen, created Tight End University this offseason to just kind of say, like, hey, we deserve a lot more money. We deserve a lot more praise. We deserve a lot more attention here. We're tight ends. We have to run and block and catch, and we can do it all. And they wanted their kind of names to be known out here by starting Tight End University, and we're going to give them that by kind of critiquing and just keeping an active, watchful eye on what the tight ends do this season. But I think at the end of it, Darren Waller, 6'6", tall as heck, fast as heck, is going to be regarded as the number 1 tight end over Travis Kelce or over George Kittle, who are kind of right now regarded as number 1. So expect Darren Waller to have big things this season. Alrighty, another prediction, and this one's really easy to say. But Jamar Chase will not catch a single pass this season. He will drop every single pass thrown to him. He will have 0 catches by the end of the season, folks. Even wide receiver screens, even the easiest passes to catch, he will drop them all. Jamar Chase will not have a single catch this season, folks. Mark it. Bet that. I'm sure you can get great odds on that, but that will happen. Alrighty. Next prediction up. Naji Harris. Jeez, can I freaking spell his name? Naji Harris will be top 3 running backs in the league at the end of the year. By the year is over. When we have all the information available to us, Naji Harris will be regarded as top 3 running backs at the end of the year. Now, I'm excluding Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey because those are dual threat kind of running backs out here. Well, Naji Harris could be a dual threat, so that's going to be interesting. So if Naji Harris turns out to be a true dual threat running back, 1,000+ yards rushing with at least minimum 500 yards receiving, he will be classified as a dual threat running back, and then he will be judged and graded on all the running backs compared to Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. If Naji Harris comes out and is just a pure runner, 13, 14, 1,500 rushing yards, only 1 to 2, maybe 300 yards receiving yards max, then he will be kind of judged around the other pure running backs, the Derrick Henrys, the Dalvin Cooks. But whatever Naji Harris does, and we can't expect him to be a dual threat running back because we do expect him to have, we did see him catch, great balls in Alabama and all that. But we'll see if it's kind of used, like a Christian McCaffrey, or if it's used a little bit more like a Saquon Barkley-esque kind of role. But he did catch for 700 yards that season. So, but either way, we'll see what Naji Harris is going to do. But I'm betting big on this man. I think he absolutely knocks this season out of the park. He's going to be regarded as top 3 running back in this league. Alrighty, we have our Super Bowl prediction. We got Colts versus Rams, folks. Colts versus Rams in the Super Bowl. And we are going to stick with our original prediction. Colts winning the Super Bowl. Now that Carson Wentz is good, that kind of foot injury was nothing to kind of get too concerned over. This Colts team is exactly the same team that we thought it was coming into this season. Unfortunate with the T.Y. Hilton out for the couple of games in the beginning, but they're getting kind of all their injuries out of the way at the start of the season. Hopefully that works out and they don't have any reoccurring midway and at the end of the season. But we still have this Colts team. We believe in Carson Wentz. This offense is ready to rock. This is a plug-and-play quarterback away from winning. We said this last season. They've got the same team besides Phillip Rivers, and we thought that Phillip Rivers kind of held the team back a little bit because he doesn't win the big games. They end up losing the first round of the playoffs, but only a one-possession game to the Bills, who's a very good opponent in the AFC, and they had the ball at the end of the game to try and win that game in the last second. Unfortunately, Phillip Rivers doesn't come up clutch because he never does. Carson Wentz, we believe in a little bit more. He's eager to prove himself. He's eager to kind of be like, hey, y'all got rid of me in Philadelphia for no reason. Yes, I got injured a little bit, but every time I was out there not injured, I was getting it done. So, joke's on you. I'm winning a Super Bowl finally, and I'm going to get credit for this one. So, Colts, Rams defense is great, and we expect big things out of Matthew Stafford as well. That's why we have the Rams coming out of the NFC, but I'm going to have the Colts winning it overall in that game. So, Colts win the Super Bowl. Colts-Ram is the Super Bowl matchup. That is still our prediction. Alrighty, I'm going to say that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs take a slight step back. Lose early on in the playoffs, like first or second game. They don't get to the AFC Championship game. They don't get to the Super Bowl. And I know this isn't like a big, astonishing prediction, but this prediction is on the same trajectory as Russell Wilson's career. Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl his second year, got to a Super Bowl again his third year, lost it, and then that fourth year, I think in 2016? I think 2015. He was still a Pro Bowl quarterback in 2015, but they lost in the second round of the playoffs. And once again, Russell Wilson has not gotten to a championship game and a Super Bowl since then. Maybe got to the championship game in 2017, 2018. But he hasn't gotten back to the Super Bowl. And I think that's kind of the same trajectory that Patrick Mahomes is going to kind of come out with his with his kind of career as well. Big, hot out the press. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, getting it done, Super Bowls, multiple Super Bowl appearances, Super Bowl win, but then for the next kind of 5-6 years, never really getting back there. And I think that's what happens with this Chiefs team starts this year. So Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs take a slight step back, lose first, second playoff game. Not a huge prediction, but I still think it happens. All right, what's up next here? Okay, next prediction up. Father Time still doesn't catch up with Tom Brady. I mean, it's every year, folks, and I even fell into it. When I wasn't on air live every single day, going back maybe 3-4 years, heading into maybe the 2018 season, 2019 season, I was like, oh, this is the year that Tom Brady's done. I mean, that's it. That's it every single year. Every single year, someone's like, oh, this is the year Tom Brady's done. This is the year Father Time catches up with him. This is the year. This is the year. This is the year. This is the year. It's every year somebody says it. And like I said, I fell for it. I said it in either 2018 or 2019. I didn't have the show back then, but I thought it to myself, this is the year. I think I even said it out loud a couple of times to people that wanted to listen, and if they didn't, I don't care. I think I still said it out loud. But yeah, it's not going to happen. I think Tom Brady is truly the outlier here. The only outlier that Father Time just really doesn't really catch up with. I mean, if you want to say Father Time catches up with Tom Brady when he's 45, 46, I guess you can say that. But I mean, does that even mean anything at that point? Because it's so wildly old in this league. It's like, okay, yeah, it's just that's not even Father Time. That's like grandfather time at that point. It's like, okay. So Father Time still doesn't catch Tom Brady. He's still looking good. Still potentially could win the Super Bowl this season. It wouldn't shock me. And honestly, after that hype video and after the last week here of watching and seeing what everybody in the Bucs is saying and doing, I was very, very this close to changing our Super Bowl prediction to Colts and the Bucs. But I'm gonna give Sean McVay the little bit of the benefit of the doubt here that he is some high IQ offensive genius that he just needs the right quarterback. So we'll see what happens here. And we'll see what Tom Brady does. But he still threw 3 interceptions in that NFC Championship game. And if you're going to throw 3 interceptions against that Rams team in the NFC Championship game this season, it may not have the same result as Aaron Rodgers last year. So Father Time still does not catch Tom Brady. Alrighty, next prediction up. Ryan Fitzpatrick is who we thought he is. 50-50, nothing great. They don't win the division. They don't make the playoffs. And, he kind of squanders a nice opportunity here because this Washington defense is real solid, but Ryan Fitzpatrick isn't the game manager needed to win the game. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is who we thought. He is, 50-50 quarterback. Washington doesn't win the division or make the playoffs because Ryan Fitzpatrick wasn't the game manager needed for the defense to control the game. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, gunslinger out here, lets it loose a little bit too much, tries to prove a little bit too much this year, and they lose games because of it. They don't make the playoffs, even though the defense was great all season. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick not getting it done offensively, and they don't make the playoffs because of that. Alrighty, now let's switch over to a success. So, Lions, Dan Campbell. We're going to outline what a successful year. We have been clowning Dan Campbell, and we don't have the biggest overall big respect for this Lions team in terms of being good, but we are going to set what our expectations are going to be so we can give credit for Dan Campbell of having a successful year. So Lions, Dan Campbell, to be successful this season. Let's see how many wins we need. Let's go to their schedule very quickly. We're not going to we kind of went over the Lions winnable games the other day when we were breaking down their overall season win totals. But I want to see, I'm not going to kind of be like, oh, well, we counted them at 5 wins. We could see 5, so they need to win 5 games to be successful. We'll play it a little fair out here. So winnable games out here. Not that many. Bengals. No. Bengals, Bears once. Vikings once. Beating the Falcons. And then maybe give them, an Eagles one. So, there's about like 5 to 6 winnable games here, but we have to see about 4 games. If he can win 4 games this season, I will count that as a successful year for Dan Campbell. It's not that high of a bar, and that's fine. Dan Campbell's first time being a head coach. He's got Jared Goff, who people say you can't win a Super Bowl with, and it's kind of been proven. Unfortunate. So, Dan Campbell, to be successful this season, 4 wins. That's it. 4 wins and not too many blowouts. I don't want to see any blowouts, and I'm going to classify blowouts as 14 plus points, which usually I call blowouts 10 plus points. 2 possessions, kind of a blowout in the league. I'm going to give Dan Campbell another benefit of the doubt here. 14 plus point games are blowouts, and we really don't want to see that many. Maybe I'll give him 2 to 3. 2 to 3 maybe, because he has to face the Packers. Got to face the Packers, got to face the Ravens, the Rams, the Steelers, the Browns. Maybe we should upgrade this a little bit more. The Seahawks and Packers again. So maybe we should bump it up a little bit more, but I'm going to mark it at 14 points. Not too many blowout losses, and we'll classify those at 14 plus points. So that's what we want to see from Dan Campbell. Those are our expectations. Not that high, but that's fine. Lions haven't been good. This is not a easy team to take over and win with. Obviously, we've seen for the last 20 years, everybody's trying. Dan Campbell, first-time head coach. So, Lions, Dan Campbell, to be successful this season, 4 wins, not too many blowout losses, which are 14-plus points. Is that all I had written on here? All right, another expectation. Sean McVay. He needs to be successful this year. He got his quarterback. He didn't like Jared Goff. He brought in Matthew Stafford. Now he's like, I've got every piece here to be successful offensively. Once again, he was quoted as being, like an offensive guru, like in 2018, 2019. So, this is the time to show it. Sean McVay, to be successful. What do we got to see? He has to have a top 5 offense. Top 5 offense. You've got Matthew Stafford. You're an offensive guru. Got to have a top 5 offense. And has to get to the NFC Championship game. I would like them to win it. Obviously, we think they can get to the Super Bowl, but it would be a successful season if they have a top 5 offense and get to the NFC Championship game. I think we can classify that as a successful season for the Rams and Sean McVay. All right. Daniel Jones. Let's get our expectations for him. We think he can be good this season. But I want to put a number on it because we're expecting the same year 3 leap that kind of Josh Allen did. Now, I'm not going to kind of expect the same numbers that Josh Allen put up. The 69% completion percentage, the 4,500 yards, the 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. So let's figure out a number here from Daniel Jones. So he had 62% completion percentage last season and kind of his rookie year, 62%. So I want to see that upgraded to 65 at minimum. Minimum 65% completion percentage. All right. So we got the completion percentage. Now let's talk about yards. He's at 3,000 rookie year, 2,900 second year. So definitely have to be way better than that. And I'm going to go... I want to see more. I really want to see 4,000, honestly. I want to see 4,000 yards. I'm not going to, I'm not going to say 3,800. I'm going to go 4,000. 4,000 yards. 4,000 yards. That's what I want to see. 4,000 yards. I don't want to see 3,800. I'm so over not seeing 4,000 yards by these, quarterbacks, and especially with an extra game. That should be, obtainable for Danny J, especially with all these great wide receivers that he has. So I'm going to put it at 4,000 yards. Touchdowns, he had 24 year one, 11 year two, and I'm going to kind of go at 28. I want to see 28 touchdowns plus and 10 or less interceptions. How many did Josh Allen have last season? He had 10, so I want to see 10 or less. 10 or less. So that's what I want to see from Daniel Jones. The offense supports that. Josh Allen just did that last year, better than that. 69% completion percentage, 4,500 yards. So we're giving Daniel Jones a little bit of a less bar to hit, but we still want to see that freaking bar hit, absolutely. All right, let's continue on here. We got some more to talk about, some more to go over, and we have to make another slide out of this one. So let's continue on here. Next one up, Saquon Barkley. We believe he returns to top three. Top three running back by the time the year's over. By the end of the season. So we have Naji Harris in the top three. We have Saquon Barkley in the top three. And we have Derrick Henry breaking the single season rushing record, which would obviously pretty much put him in the top three. So our top three running backs, potentially the best ones at the end of this season, are Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Naji Harris. So big things from these running backs. We know they can get it, and hopefully they can go out and show it. All right, Justin Fields. He makes debut week 3 after Andy Dalton, Bengals, revenge game. I mean, we know Justin Fields is going to play this season. Hopefully he does. I mean, there's no reason to start Andy Dalton the entire season. But I think Matt Nagy kind of made a deal with Andy Dalton. Hey, you get week 2 because of the Bengals, so we have to start you week 1. We're not going to start Justin Fields week 1, start you week 2, then go back to Justin Fields week 3. I mean, that's insane to even do. So Andy Dalton will give you week 1 because we want to give you week 2, but after week 2, we're going with Justin Fields regardless. If you win both games, regardless of anything, we're going with Justin Fields. They're going to give Andy Dalton the revenge game against the Bengals, which I kind of respect. I get it. But then after that, they're going with the rookie Justin Fields. So he makes his debut week 3. Week 2 is Bears-Bengals in Chicago. All right. What else do we get here? Robert Sala. Let's get up what is going to make him successful. Robert Sala, successful season. Let's go to their schedule quickly and just kind of put a number on what is expected out of him from his first season in win totals. Obviously, we don't expect them to win the division because the Bills are clearly better and the Dolphins are clearly better. So I'm not going to put a division win for a successful year, but some solid wins here. So just, quick winnable games. Panthers, Patriots twice. Bengals, Texans, Eagles, Jags. Maybe split against the Dolphins. I don't see that happening, but maybe. So, potentially 7 to 8 winnable games here, and I want to see 5 wins. 5 wins, I would call it a successful season for Robert Sala. 5 wins, and once again, not too many blowouts. But his are not going to be 14-plus points. His are going to be kind of classic 10 plus. Not too many blowouts. Maybe I do give him the meh. I'll give him a little bit more since he is a first-time head coach. Same thing with I want to be fair between him and Dan Campbell. Both kind of juice head-esque personalities. Just what they show. I know they're not that person. That's not a dig. That's not a knock on those people or Robert Sala or anything like that. I'm just saying that's kind of their energy that they bring, juiced up energy. Kind of defensive minded, tight end / minded head coaches or coaches in general. So basically the same. So 5 wins, not too many blowouts. I'll give them 13 plus points. And then we'll classify that as 13 plus points for Robert Sala. All right, so that's Robert Sala. 5 wins, not too many blowouts. All right, what else is next? Urban Meyer, successful season. Ugh. I don't expect this man to have a successful season, but we'll see. So let's go to their schedule, the Jaguars, and put a win total on them for for a successful year. I got to give him the same benefit of 13-plus points in blowouts as well. But here we go. Jaguars, winnable games quickly. Texans, Bengals, Falcons, Texans, Jets, Patriots. So about 6. And once again, I kind of want to see, is only 4? Yeah, 4. It's kind of like 4 winnable games. I'm going to go back down to 4 wins. 4 wins, not too many blowouts. Actually, no. I have to upgrade this. I have to upgrade this for more than 4 wins because remember, Urban Meyer said, hey, we are not in a rebuild. We are still expecting to win out here. This is not a slow rebuild. We are expecting to win this season, be competitive this season. So what did we say, 6 or 7 winnable games? I'm going to upgrade this to 6 wins. 6 wins. 2 blowouts max because he said this. I'm only using his words, folks. He said they are going to be competitive this season. So 2 blowouts max, and I'll classify those blowouts at 13-plus points. So Urban Meyer's talking a lot of stuff. Better be ready to back it up because we've got your successful season marked at 6 wins minimum and no more than 2 blowouts. All right. Okay, another thing. Fans in the stands. Fans back in the stands will play a big role again. Lower completion percentage by the younger quarterbacks. So we'll look at what the younger quarterbacks were doing last season. The Lamar Jackson, the Kyler Murray, Josh Allen. Who else we got? Teddy Bridgewater had a really kind of inflated one. So we're going to be comparing 2020 completion to 2021 comp percentage. Just to get that, we think fans in the stands is going to play. The noise, not being able to hear on the road, all that is going to play a huge part in just the overall play of the quarterback. We saw inflated completion percentage numbers last season, and we'll see if those go down or if those stay the same. And that will make us see if we're right or wrong. But we think it's going to play a big role, so we would expect completion percentage to come down slightly. All right, Jalen Waddle will be the best wide receiver after year 1 of his draft class. So of Devontae Smith, of Jamar Chase, which isn't going to be too hard because he's not going to catch a pass all year, remember. So Jalen Waddle will be the best wide receiver after a year of his draft. We've been seeing great things about him in preseason and just his overall fit scheme-wise of what the Dolphins are going to run. It's a home run match. So Jalen Waddle is going to get it done this year. Joe Burrow is going to look the least impressive after year 2 from his draft class. So that's Tua, that's Justin Herbert, that's even Jalen Hurts. We have all those quarterbacks playing a little bit better than Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow kind of falls off a little bit. He looked all right last season. I don't think this comes anything from the injury. I just think it's overall, I think Joe Burrow doesn't really have that much more to grow in this league. I think he's close to a ceiling where I can see Tua getting even better. Justin Herbert was great year 1. I see him getting even better. And Jalen Hurts, we just scratched the surface of what we saw from him last season. So I think Joe Burrow is going to be kind of looking the least impressive, and I'm not knocking these players here. I think that's just what's going to happen. Alrighty, and then we're going to set a mark for Teddy Bridgewater. We have to put a bar on his success. Since this was an open quarterback competition, since he got thrown away from the Panthers last season, and we're going to put a mark on what Teddy Bridgewater needs to have a successful season. So, Teddy Bridgewater, to count it as a successful year with the Broncos. Do I have his stats up? I think I got to bring up his stats. All right, Teddy Bridgewater. All right. So here we go. For Teddy Bridgewater to be having a successful year, I'm going to even, he had 69% completion percentage last year, which was, high as heck. It was great. I don't even think he needs to do that again. I'm going to count 67% comp That's what we need to see. How many yards did he throw for last season? Yeah, 3,700. Yeah, that needs to be upgraded to 4,000. 4,000 plus yards. 4,000 yards. And then way up on the touchdowns. I got to see 25 passing touchdowns. 25 passing touchdowns. 10 or fewer interceptions. I mean, that's his knock on Teddy Bridgewater. Not airing out the ball, not scoring touchdowns, not scoring passing touchdowns. So 67% completion percentage for Teddy Bridgewater, 4,000 yards, 25 passing touchdowns, and 10 or fewer interceptions. This Broncos offense definitely warrants this passing, 100%. That's not something out of the realm. That's so wild to think about. And then I think the last one we're going to talk about here is Sam Darnold. He's got to have a successful season. So Sam Darnold's successful season. Actually, got to do one more after this one with Matt Rule. So Sam Darnold, let's get his stats up so we can create a successful year for him. So here we go, Sam Darnold. His best completion percentage is 61.9. I have to see 65% plus. 65+% completion percentage, absolutely. Teddy Bridgewater did 69 last season with basically the same weapons besides Christian McCaffrey. So this is actually going to be easier for Sam Darnold to achieve because you've got the dink and dunk option, the safety blanket, that is Christian McCaffrey. But I have to see 65% plus completion from Sam Darnold. Yards-wise, his most was 3,000. Teddy Bridgewater put up 3,700 without Christian McCaffrey. I've got to see 4,000. 4,000 yards. I've got to see it. And then touchdown and interception ratio, or just touchdown and interceptions. Sam Darnold, 17, 19, 9. I've got to see basically 25 plus. 25 plus passing touchdowns. Does he turn the ball over a lot? What do we got interception-wise? Yes, 15, 13, 11. Basically 10 or fewer. 10 or fewer picks. So basically similar to Teddy Bridgewater, but with Sam Darnold, he's never been the, accurate passer with the Jets, so his completion percentage bar is a little bit lower, but everything else is basically the same. And then the last one to do here, Matt Rule, to have a successful season. Because he traded away Teddy Bridgewater. Because he chose Sam Darnold. He's going to have to get it done this season. So let's see what their wins. I think they only won 4 games last season. So they won 5 games last season. We need to see that improve to probably about 9 wins. Let me go to their schedule because I'm either going to set the bar at 9 or 8 wins depending on how many winnable games that they have on their roster. So here we go. Panthers, let's just count winnable games. Jets, Saints, Texans, Eagles, Vikings, Falcons, Patriots, Falcons again, Saints again. So, I mean, we're at 9 winnable games right there. So I'm going to put it at 9 games. They must win 9 games. This needs to be a 4-win improvement from last season if you believe in Sam Darnold this heavily, especially getting Christian McCaffrey back. I should set the bar at 10, but I'll give Matt Rule a little bit of a wiggle room here. 9 wins plus, and then not a lot of blowouts. Not a lot of blowouts, but his blowouts are 10 plus points, because they didn't even get blown out last season. I mean, I may even put a number on this blowouts. Let's get up this because I don't think I think they got blown out 1 game last season. So let's go to their games. Blowouts are 10 or more points. So lost 1, they lost by 4. Lost 2, they lost by big time. They lost by 14. That's a blowout. So that's 1 blowout. The next loss against the Bears, they lose by 8 or 7. They lose to Saints by 3. They lose to the Falcons by 8. They lose to the Chiefs by 2. They lose to the Bucks again by 23. Once again, 2 blowouts there. Vikings, they lose by 1. The Broncos, they lose by 5. The Packers, they lose by 8. And the Saints, they get absolutely blown out, but it was the last game of the season. So I'm only going to do, they had 3 blowouts last season. I'm only going to allow 2 blowouts here. So let's change that to not a lot of blowouts to 2 blowouts. 2 blowouts allowed, and those are 10 plus points. So 9 wins and only 2 blowouts at max. So those are all of our predictions and expectations. If we have to, think of another one come tomorrow, if one pops into our head as we're kind of watching tonight's game, whatever it is, we'll try not to do anything revolving around the Cowboys or the all right, let me write down this expectation. I don't think Dan Quinn has success. Let me write that down. Dan Quinn's defense is atrocious. And I'm going to say bottom 25. I'm going to say bottom 25 for Dan Quinn. Anything we have to say about the Bucs? Because we want to get everything around those teams. We already had Tom Brady with Father Time. So I think we're all good there. But if we have to do 1 or 2 more to come tomorrow when we think of one, we'll do that. But this is going to be kind of our final list right here of all of our predictions and expectations. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're out of here. It was super late today. We're back tomorrow breaking down the Thursday night game. Enjoy that game tonight. We certainly will, and we'll come with our official breakdown come tomorrow. Hopefully Game Pass is back and better than what it was in preseason. One can only hope. Cannot be any worse. But we are out of here for today, folks. Thanks for joining us.